astounding number of Americans who are surviving after being treated for cancer. But that leads to some issues in the way life has to be lived following cancer. That's why I'm at Cancer Centers of North Carolina talking with Dr. Elizabeth Campbell about survivorship.
So we think, and we talked before, about cancer survivorship in three major phases. We think about the acute phase of survivorship, during which people are still receiving treatment and experiencing the consequences of that, and then right afterwards. Then there's kind of a middle phase when the treatment side effects that were acute are beginning to resolve, but people are left with new and a different body and new questions and concerns and fears. And then chronic survivorship, which is those people who are 5 or more years out from the cancer diagnosis who still may have consequences of the therapy or the cancer or the impact on their lives or families from the cancer treatment. So those are all real issues.
One of those that stuck out to me was sexual function. That, for couples especially, that's something that they really need to know about and consider.
Right. Sexual function changes in almost everybody, and it can go back to normal, but it can be an ongoing challenge for people, and sometimes how they experience sexuality has to change, not just with cancer treatment, but after cancer treatment. And that's something we as a medical profession don't talk very effectively about, and that is something that there are resources around now that can help people with.
What about cognitive function?
Cognitive function is a huge issue and is one of the real indications for intervention, and it's another issue that's underreported and underdiscussed in the medical profession. A lot of people experience cognitive dysfunction in relation to anxiety about cancer, but also in relation to the treatment issues of themselves. And those issues can be transient and they can be long-term too. And they're certainly exacerbated by depression, and they're exacerbated by real issues like sleep disturbance, which influence a lot of patients with cancer, as well as pain and pain medications, obviously.
Fatigue is another big one.
Fatigue is an issue that is present for almost everybody acutely during cancer treatment, and also another one that can persist, and it can persist for a variety of reasons, directly related to cancer and treatment, and also indirectly related, like hormonal dysfunction, thyroid dysfunction, other organ dysfunction that can result from cancer therapies. A lot of people get fatigued just simply because they get deconditioned, because during treatment they don't feel like exercising. One big treatment for fatigue is to improve exercise, something none of us as Americans are really very good at doing. But the cancer organizations now have really specific guidelines, motivational techniques, and also resources to help people pursue ways in which they can impact their own durability and endurance and help reduce fatigue in those areas too.
Well, there are some issues. The big picture is more people are surviving, and this is a great example of that, isn't it?
This is a wonderful, this is the Cancer Survivor Wall that just a few years ago, survivors and their families made at the Komen race for the cure. People tied ribbons on to represent their own survivorship struggle, walk, and also to remember people who hadn't survived that walk. So we try to keep this on this wall always in remembrance of those people and as inspiration to others.
Dr. Campbell, thank you so much.
It's great to see you again. Thanks.
You can learn more about survivorship by visiting the website. It's cancercentersofnc.com.